Okay.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So glad you are all joining me today. I am Debbie Waidl. I am your migraine specialist, a certified functional health coach, here to help you reduce the severity, duration, and frequency of your migraines so that you can bring yourself to your migraine freedom. We join you every Tuesday for these strategy calls. Some are wonderful interviews from our graduates like Paula today. Sometimes we have experts on, and sometimes we do some trainings. But today we are fortunate, as I said, to have Paula here to share her migraine freedom journey, because I think it's really important for all of you to be able to see the possibilities. You know, it's really hard to know if migraine freedom is possible unless you actually see it in action. So Paula's here today to give us her journey and tell us what it was like for her. So Paula, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank
Wonderful.
you for having me.
Of course, of course. Just double checking to make sure that we are good on Facebook before we get started. I want to make sure nobody misses anything. Wonderful, we are. I like to see my face on the screen over there. So I know we're good. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Paula, let's start with a very easy question. Can you just fill me in a little bit about your migraine journey, what it was like for you?
Well, I don't remember having headaches as a child or even in my teens. And then in my 20s, I would get one maybe around my cycle or at the end of my cycle. And that was pretty consistent. And I thought, oh, well, that's no big deal. And then my 50s hit, and I was really looking forward to menopause because the headaches had gotten worse. And I thought, okay, surely after menopause, this will go away. Because I thought, oh, it's hormone based. But they didn't. And then I also got lupus, was diagnosed with lupus at about the age of 50. And things kind of went downhill quickly after that. And the headaches became probably 2 to 3 times a week. And then about a year ago, almost every day. And nothing was helping. My lupus fairly under control, or so I thought. But the headaches were just doing me in. And so I, through the wonders of Facebook, found Debbie. She just popped up one day. And I thought, okay, who is this lady? And what is this about? And the rest is history.
Well, that's quite the journey, going from just a couple migraines to all of a sudden hitting a point in your life where maybe when you thought they were going to start lessening, because isn't that truthful, ladies? You know, tell me if you're watching on Facebook right now. So many of our doctors tell us, just hang in there till menopause. It'll get better. You know, don't worry, you know, migraines go away in menopause. And really, we find that they ramp up and just get worse. And that sounds like that was 100% the case for you, going from 2 to 3 to every day. And then obviously having, you know, lupus on top of it, which for those of you who have not gotten the chance yet, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but for those of you who haven't gotten the chance, if you have not done the migraine sensitivity scorecard in the group yet, please let us know in the comments, whether you're watching now or watching on the replay, and Barbie will make sure to reach out to you and get you that information, because really this is the basis of everything we talk about, how inflammation is at the root of all illness, whether that be migraines or autoimmunity. So Paula, you had many, many years of this. What were some of the things that you tried over the years to try to end your pain?
Well, at first, just simple ibuprofen would do the trick. Then they became worse, and I was still teaching at that point, and pretty stressful situation, 400 students, teaching elementary music, 2 different buildings, traveling during my day. So I went on sumatriptan, and that would take care of it. And I wouldn't take too many, I didn't think. Well, after a while, I was a sumatriptan junkie, and
I laugh because I remember those days. That's why I laugh.
Yes. And in the United States, you only get so many a month.
Yeah.
And I was counting them out and cutting them in half and trying to make it all work. And I thought, this is no way to live. This is awful. I just was so tied into these medications. I tried chiropractic. I tried dry needling. And then I thought, well, okay, so now I have lupus. So, try some medications for that. Maybe that will help my headaches. Well, they seem to get worse. So, nothing has worked like this program has worked. And I can't say enough about how grateful I am, because it has made a huge difference in who I am and who I am as a wife and a coworker and a family member. And I just feel totally different.
I love that. And you and I chatted for a few minutes, obviously, before we came on this call. And I love the fact that the people around you have been so supportive of this and are actually buying into doing some of the things that you're doing, like your husband and your coworker, and they feel so much better.
Right.
Just by following your example of the things that you've done over the last, well, let's see, it's been 2 months since you graduated. So, over the last 6 months or so, changes that you've made to your life that have just brought joy to other people as well.
Right. Yeah.
I love that. I love it. So you tried a lot of things. You did the meds. You did kind of what everybody does. In the US, most of us get 9. So
right. 9 is the magic number.
Yeah. And in UK, they get a little, I don't want to say luckier, because I think if you're taking sumatriptan, you're not a lucky person, but they do get access to more. But so many women I know, they pull out a calendar and they actually plot the days. Like, these are important days. These are the days I have to function. Those are the days I have to take the pills. And even though you might not have pulled out the calendar, it sounds like you were doing the same thing. Like, do I have to function today, or can I go home and just crash today?
Right. Right.
What a way to live, huh?
Yeah, it was not. And I remember when I was teaching, I would just get a terrible headache at the end of my day. Well, I know it was because I just pushed it too hard. I didn't drink enough water. Even though I drank a lot of water, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I didn't say no. I didn't shut down when I should have. I didn't eat properly. And, all those things. Had I known all of these tools, it just could have been so much better.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, or anyone else that's watching has noticed, every single thing that you just listed that you didn't think about doing was basically because you were at the bottom of your list every day. You were a teacher. And obviously, when we are teachers, I call those my carers of the group, the teachers, the doctors, the nurses, the moms, the grandmothers. We care so much about everyone that we give 110% to them. And then what we have left is for us. So every day you're taking meds to teach your students. You're pushing through, doing whatever you can to teach your students. And then by the time it's time for you, you didn't have much left a lot of days, did you?
No, not a whole lot left in the tank. And then when lupus hit, that just kind of did me in.
Absolutely. And we need that. We need to put, not that we aren't there for everyone else, but by putting ourselves first, we can actually give more. We can give more back to everyone else because we're fully present instead of, and I don't know if you felt this way, Paula, but I felt this way quite a few times. I took the meds so that I could manage through my day, not really live through my day, but manage through my day. The meds make you feel fuzzy and they're covering up pain, not perfectly. So trying, you don't get the full experience of what life should be like when you're taking those every day.
And always in the back of my mind was, okay, is this going to work? Okay, it's been a half hour. Is it going to work? Am I going to be okay? What do I need to do next? Oh my gosh, I have the second grade coming and they're going to be challenging. And, how am I going to do this? And it was just, it was just so difficult now that I think back on it.
Yeah, we do it. And at the time, it's like, okay, that's just what life is. But then when you look back, it is like, why was I doing that for so long? Or why did I have to do that for so long? Because let's
Right.
face it, you didn't know better. You didn't know that there was a different way. So you
Correct.
found the group, you know, Women's Migraine
Mhm.
Freedom. You joined, you were in the group for a while. And then obviously
Mhm.
you and I got on a call with your husband as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So we all got to chat. So what was it that night that we were all talking that made you go, I'm going to give this lady from Facebook a try. This person, I have no idea who she is. You know, what made you decide to do that when you've tried so many other things? You've done so many other things, spent so much more money on trying to end it, and nothing else worked.
Well, I had done a bit of research, so I knew that I needed to make some changes for my autoimmune issues. I knew I needed to be eating better. I knew I needed to be more hydrated. And so when you were talking about all of these things, I thought, well, this lady she knows what she's talking about. It just made total sense. And my husband, he's wonderful at asking questions and thinking through issues. And he asked you some questions. Well, what about this? And what do you think about that? And what happens if we do this? And everything just made sense. You were able to answer all of our questions. There was nothing funky about the situation that made me go, I don't know about that. And I just felt like, okay, I need to give this a try. This sounds like it could be a good fit for me.
And I love the fact that he was on, because whether it's a spouse that's on, a partner, you know, a sibling, everyone always has different questions that make you think of other things. So I have a feeling having your husband on probably brought more awareness to the program, to your health, and to how this could help, just because you both did ask questions. So, you know, for any of you who are thinking about jumping on a call with us, you know, whether it's myself or a member of the team to chat about how we can support you, know that that is one of the keys, is to having a loved one on with you, because you get so much more clarity out of the call. And if you are living in a household with other people, this is a journey that you kind of take together, right?
Absolutely.
You had the migraines, Paula, but the migraines affected your household.
Yes, very much so.
So what does your husband have to say now that, you know, 6 months ago we chatted, you did the program, you graduated 2 months. What are his feelings now?
Oh, he has seen the changes for sure. He is still my biggest supporter. And when I cheat over the holidays, he got his, he did some cheating too. And then he decided, you know what, this is not good. We need to get back on track. So it was good to have him there to remind me that, okay, yep, you're right.
And there are always going to be times in our lives where we react differently, where we eat differently, where we sleep differently, where we exercise differently. You know, I was right there with everyone over the holidays. You know, we had they were gluten and dairy free, but we had lots of gluten and dairy free treats in the house. And my yoga mat collected a little bit of dust. And my alarm clock got set a little bit later for some days. But the great thing about finding migraine freedom through the Freedom From Migraine Method is we teach you how to increase your threshold so that you can do some of those things without drastic results, versus saying this is an all or nothing thing, because we're human, right? I mean, Christmas is going to come next year, and next year we're going to do the same thing, aren't we, Paula? So we need to know that instead of having a threshold this big, where when we have that cookie or we don't go to sleep, you know, as early as we should, that we're not going to get that migraine. Or if we do get that migraine because of indulgence, which is okay, the severity, duration, and frequency is going to be a little bit different than what it was before you were working on your health.
That's definitely the case for me. And I'm still tweaking things that I learned in the program. I'm still on the journey and learning things, what to do, what not to do. And so it doesn't end when the program ends.
No.
And I know that I can still reach out and ask questions. And so I didn't feel like I was just left hanging. So
never. The Women's Migraine Freedom Group is always there for anyone who needs it. And we actually love it when our graduates hang around in there because we miss you ladies. You become
yes,
part of the family. You know, we spend 4
right.
months together every day. You know, you have
Yep.
the ability to be able to chat with us if you need to. So it'd be a little bit hard to let everyone go that quickly afterwards. But I love how you said it is a process because, you know, yes, the Freedom from Migraine Method is a 4-month program. And, you know, typically in 4 months, you have the tools that you need to achieve the goals that you're looking for. But everyone's level of success depends on their health and the amount they put into the program. And, you know, the results really can be varied, but you will see that reduction in, you know, in severity, duration, and frequency. You will see changes once positive changes are made in lifestyles. So the body just needs time.
Right.
You know, needs time to heal. I wish it would heal overnight. That little magic wand that we always talk about, you know, that magic wand healing, but, you know, just like anything, your body needs time to heal, and yours is doing an amazing job healing. So let's kind of regroup where you were before, and then you can kind of tell us health-wise where you are now. So before the program, you know, at the point about a year before, you were close to pretty much daily migraines, taking lots of meds, splitting up your you know, your triptans, and I'm sure probably using some over the counters in between when you couldn't use a triptan to try to fill in, doing all that, you know, and then obviously lupus came into the picture to now what does life look like for you?
Well, we found, I have amazing doctors. I have a family physician and a rheumatologist. They are very good listeners. They are very proud of this program that I started because they can see it's been so helpful. I still am on a program for my lupus with certain medications and things. But we finally found something that works. And I think it's working better now because of the migraine program and the, you know, dropping the inflammation and just being healthier. I feel really good that my body does not need all the sumatriptan and all the Advil, and because it just felt like, when is this going to end? Do I have to do this the rest of my life? And I thought, what is this doing to my heart? And then my mom died, and 2 weeks later my brother died, and I just thought, I just felt like life was totally spinning out of control, totally out of control. And so I just thought, I have to do something. And now it's just a world of difference in who I am and how I feel.
That's amazing. And I love the thought process of walking through the fact that, you know, there's still lupus there. But the things that you have done can support your healing towards autoimmunity, whether it's lupus or MS or, you know, Hashimoto's, whatever autoimmune condition you have. Because again, remember, they both stem from the same place. So everyone that's watching, again, if you haven't taken that migraine sensitivity scorecard, this really is key to your overall health. Whether, you know, I'm assuming you're in this group because you want to end your migraines, but many of you join this group as well because you're like, I just don't feel well all over.
Right.
You know, one of the questions I love to ask people when we first talk is, you know, tell me how many days a month you feel good. How many days a month can you tell me that you are like, I'm Paula, I'm great. This day, it's just going to be amazing. And sadly, most women tell me 4 or 5 days a month.
Right. It was much easier. Be much easier to tell you how many days I felt awful.
Yeah. Exactly. But fortunately now it's not that case because you have reduced your inflammation.
That's right.
And I love how we just talked about that. You took the sensitivity scorecard again just a little while ago, and you were, you know, pleasantly surprised with your number, because obviously when you have autoimmunity, you know, that number is going to be a little higher, but the things that you've done are moving it down. And the time that you spend continuing to do it can only bring more healing and more reduction in inflammation, which is, that is the key to keeping you, you know, another 50 years of happiness and healthiness, right, Paula?
I hope so.
So tell me, for the person who's watching right now, and I'm going to double check comments while you answer this, make sure we didn't miss any questions, but for the person who's watching right now, who's like, I listened to all these testimonials, but, is this stuff real? Are they really telling me the truth of what's going on? What would you say to that person right now who's really just struggling?
I would encourage them to have a meeting with you, a Zoom meeting. They don't have anything to lose. If they decide not to sign up for the program, that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important to just take any step toward feeling better. And I think people that meet with you will soon realize that, hey, this is the real deal. This can change my life. And it sounds corny in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be patient with yourself and the program. There's a lot to the program, but it's laid out so thoughtfully and so well. And there's always people there to have your back. There's always someone there to help. I mean, if you need a discussion about the kind of bed pillow that you need to use, well, there's somebody that can help you with that.
And we did talk about that quite a bit a few times, didn't we?
Yes. Just so many things that you think might be, oh gosh, should I give this a try? Well, there's somebody out there that's tried that and has an opinion about that, and it's just so cool to meet people from, all over the world that have issues just like we do. I mean, there are smart, intelligent women that need help, and it's okay to need help, and it's okay to want to feel better. And so anybody out there, just connect with Debbie and Erinne and get going. Take the first step.
You tell them, Paula. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like you said, it's not about whether you decide to join or not. It's about honoring yourself and determining where your next steps need to take you. Mm-hmm. And, I hope, because you're in this group, the women in this group, that you're using medication right now to manage your pain, knowing that there's a better way. Because that's really what we're trying to help you with, knowing that there is hope and there is a way to end these migraines. And it's not through medication, because that's just the quick fix. That's just covering up the pain. And if you need it to cover it up in the moment, we're all for that. That's okay. We don't want anybody in pain. But we don't want you to be a slave to it for life, cutting them in half, trying to get through the day to teach your 400 students to, to do all that, because that's not living. That's just managing. And there's quite a few people on here right now that have just said the same thing. Lisa's on, and I know Lisa felt the same way. She's a teacher and she was just managing. Sonia's watching, Paula's watching, Julie. You've got quite the crew over here, Joe. Quite a few people on watching. So again, if you're watching right now and you haven't connected with Barbie, say hi and let us know where you're watching from. And if you're watching on the replay, let us know that you're doing that as well. And, just give us a hashtag replay so we know you're watching on the replay. And we just want to say that, if you have any questions for Paula, now's the time. Drop them in chat. Let me know if you have any questions about her journey. Because Paula's been amazing to come here today just to share with you, so that you can have that glimmer of hope. Like we're saying, you can have that glimmer of hope that you don't have to go through another 30 years of this. Some of you have already gone through decades. How many decades was it for you, Paula? From beginning to end?
Oh, 3 or 4.
Okay.
3,
yeah,
probably. Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a long time to have migraines in your thoughts, even if it's not every day. Just that worry of when's that next one coming.
Yep. Yeah. And they got worse and worse. They didn't get better and better.
Man. Yeah. Lisa's saying it's been a year. It will be a year at the end of this month since she started the program, and she knows how her body is working because of the program. Maintain her new lifestyle and even kept up the 18 pounds she lost as a bonus. Gotta love that. Kathleen is watching from West Virginia. Kathleen, you're probably a lot warmer than we are today, or than I am. I forget, where are you, Paula?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Okay, so you're probably not warm today either.
It's pretty warm here. It's 28 degrees, which is warm for us.
Okay, it's probably 28 here, but I feel like it's cold.
It's been terrible. It's been below zero. So
Oh, yeah, it is winter. It's
yeah,
winter.
winter.
All right, exactly. Let me just double check these comments, make sure we're all set before I let you go. Julie, I love Julie's comment here. I think we get so accustomed to just existing that we don't even realize we're not fully living. And she says, how sad.
Yes, absolutely. Just felt
Yeah.
like I was making it work, and really I wasn't at all.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I did that for 10 years. I thought I was doing a great job of getting through until I finally realized, why am I trying just to manage and get through when I can just not do this anymore? So Paula, any last words of wisdom, any last things you'd like to leave the ladies with today that are watching?
Oh, like I said, I can't stress enough. Just go ahead and take that first step and find out what it's all about. Not every day is going to be awesome. There are days when it's not going to work, and it's going to be bad. And you're just going to have to work through it, and the next day will be better, and there's help out there, and there's people to answer your questions. There's always something new to try, some new tools. I just can't stress enough how it can just make a huge difference in your life.
Yeah, I love it. And I like how you were very honest in saying migraine freedom is a roller coaster ride. You know, there is not a straight line between where you are right now and the finish line. It would be so easy, ladies, wouldn't it, if there was a straight line?
Right.
But there is, because every body is different and every person is different, there is some trial and error. There is some tweaking. There's some figuring out how this fits into your lifestyle, because we don't want this to be a 4-month change. We want this to be a lifelong change so that you can every single day just get better and better and better. So there will be twists and turns and upside downs and dark tunnels that you go into. But the great thing is, just like a roller coaster ride, it ends. It does end. So the community is there to support that. And I think that's the one key thing that you mentioned a few times, but I want to make sure that everyone heard your underlining of what you're saying. The community that we have in the Freedom From Migraine Method is bar to none. I don't know any other group out there that is like this. And I'm friends with hundreds of health coaches who have hundreds of these kind of groups. And you ladies in there are amazing. The support that you give each other, the suggestions, the shoulder to, you know, I'd like to say to lean on, but to type on.
Yes.
But the support is amazing. And so many of you just showed up to coaching calls, not necessarily because you had a question that week, but because you really wanted to hear what everyone else said. And you wanted to be there to support everyone else because you knew that sometime they were going to turn around and do the same for you. So I think that piece right there brings so many women so much closer to migraine freedom, because it's really hard, even if you have loving husbands and loving wives and, you know, family members, unless they have migraines, they don't know. They just don't know 100%.
Right.
You know, and your husband's pretty amazing. He's been really amazing.
He is amazing.
You know, but I'm sure sometimes it was nice just to know that somebody else got it, where you could type in and go, you know, today was kind of a crappy day. And somebody else would be there to go, I get it. Now let's move forward. Let's do that. So amazing. Well, Paula, thank you so much. I really can't thank you enough for taking your time today out of your busy day to share your journey and experience with us. Again, if anyone has any questions for Paula, please just drop them in chat and we will make sure that we get, in comments, and we will make sure that we get those to Paula and get you some answers. And we will also drop the link to book a 15-minute exploratory triage call with us. So if you do have questions and are looking for some clarity, but not sure which direction you want to go, we'll get that link in there. Because like Paula said, what does it hurt?
Right.
15 minutes compared to the rest of your life. So let's see what we can do to bring you guys migraine freedom.
Yes. Take the step. Do it for yourself.
I love it. On that note, I will say thank you to everyone for joining. This is another one of our wonderful migraine strategy call days. Our next one will be next Tuesday at the same time. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. And here's to your migraine free day, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.